Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're jumping down into the charts for XRP, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we would expect to happen next. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now, if you have not yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It is a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. Now, if anything in this video is a little bit unclear to you, Discord should be your first point to call. Jump down into Discord. We have plenty of materials on the Elliott wave theory that will help you understand what I'm talking about here, and therefore you'll be able to follow along in these videos a little bit more clearer. So why not check out Discord if that is where you are, right? Now there's a couple of other links down in the description down below that are worth checking out. We have first of all the Patreon link. This basically takes you to our Patreon services. We offer a lot more for our Patreon members down in Discord, everything from buying, selling, what we're staking and things like that, all the way through to accumulation zone, sell targets, trading, project reviews, and 2 weekly AMAs as well. So if that's your kind of bag, check out the Patreon services as well. Now the other link in the description down below is probably one of the most important. That's going to be our new Cheeky podcast. Now, this podcast is basically designed to keep you up to date with what is going on in crypto right now. This is everything from news-based stuff to price action and things like that. Essentially, it's a daily podcast that keeps you up to date with everything on your commute to the office. So why not check that out as well if that is your bag? Link is in the description below. Okay, guys, let's waste no more time though. Let's all talk now about XRP, paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. Now, this particular chart here, we can see that we're looking to complete a 5th wave low, okay, and then we're looking for a significant bounce. Many altcoins are looking for this bounce to the upside, okay? Some other projects, maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., are looking a little bit more confusing. Maybe they haven't completed their bounce, maybe they started, maybe they're pulling back, maybe they're expanding. But for the most part, XRP here is actually relatively quite clear and quite simple. We could be looking at what looks to be probably a leading diagonal just here with these 5 wave moves. Even though that wave 4 has not crossed wave 1, but it does look like we're either going to drop down significantly with an overextended 5th wave, or it's just going to be a 3-wave move, and we aren't really looking at anything here other than maybe an ending diagonal of sorts, right? A little bit of overlap maybe, something to this effect. So for the most part, when you have these kind of diagonal moves, wave 1 tends to be a pretty long wave. Normally it's literally the longest. Wave 3 cannot be the shortest, so we look for a pretty decent wave there, then like a tiny wave 5, for example. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this one plays out. But ultimately, I'm thinking, our target of between 28.8 and 29.8 is kind of where we're looking to find this reversal, this move to the upside, unless, of course, this turns into some kind of overextension. But right now, in my opinion, this looks more like we have some kind of ABC kind of structure, just a 3-wave move, but it should actually be more like a 5-wave move with some overlap in here, right? So we've moved up, we've pulled back down, we haven't yet actually gone up higher, so we could move up a little bit here. We could just have a little 3-wave move, just a bit of a boring sideways trade over the weekend. Now, this particular pattern has many kinds of names. You can call them all sorts of different things, but essentially it's a continuation pattern. We kind of find ourselves just going kind of sideways here, meaning that, we are going to continue what led into this at some point. And I think this is probably going to come as the long weekend, the 4th of July weekend kind of comes to a bit of a close. So we're expecting continuation. Now, it's a continuation of the pattern that led in, which was down, so we should come out of this going down as well. And there are some scenarios where you can actually move up, but I don't think we're in that kind of structure just yet. Okay, so looking at this is just a kind of, we have this move down, we have some kind of move in the middle, and then we're looking to target down here towards 28.8 and 29.8. So we've got a bit of a cent range there, 1 cent range, essentially between 28.9 and 29.9, after which we should be moving up. So let's take a look at the stochastic RSI. Now, for those who do not know, the stochastic RSI is an indicator within TradingView. It's an indicator that's widely used, but you cannot use the stochastic RSI in isolation. You cannot use it on its own. It will give you lots of false flags that way. Use the stochastic RSI, however, with another indicator, another set of analysis. So in here, we're using Elliott wave theory to help us understand the probability of reversals and things like that. This stochastic RSI basically shows us momentum behind the price. Okay, and basically, if you drop down lower than 20, you become oversold. Okay, meaning that there's likely that the price is going to push up because, you know, buying pressure is going to come in when you're oversold. When you're above 80, you are overbought, meaning that you're likely to see decline in price as people start to sell because too much of it is being purchased up. It's overbought. Okay, so basically it starts to pull back down. Think of it this way: undervalue and overvalue, essentially. Lots of different ways to kind of look at it, but essentially that's kind of what it is. So what we have here is a oversold stochastic RSI, meaning that we are likely to see this push back up. However, because we're on this weekend, we've got low volume here. We can see here that we were oversold here, and we went up into the overbought area up here, right? And essentially that was a tiny amount of percentage points. If we actually just grab that, we moved, what, 2%? For XRP. So it's not very significant in terms of price movement if the volume isn't there. This is why you cannot use the stochastic RSI in isolation of anything else, right? It has to be used with something else to help you understand the direction of the move. So for here, we could look at just moving back up again, continuing the sideways trade, or we could have that break up here and actually have this complete a kind of, you know, three-wave structural move, for example, an expanding flat. So we have that dropping down here, for example. We could just have a C wave come up and not going higher than our origin here is 3.363 and then drop that down. Okay, so we could look at an entire 5-wave structure that could play out with a wave 1 coming down, let's say over, so we'll say here, maybe a wave 2 coming up somewhere here, then a wave 3, slight overlap with wave 4 to end the diagonal move, and then we kind of complete that one, right? So we could be looking at something like that. Alternatively, we could just look at it as a 3-wave move as well. We just drop down, we move up, we drop back down again. Okay, so ultimately we're still talking about this move to the downside. Even though our stochastic RSI on our hourly chart is oversold, it does indicate a slight bump in price. That's probably going to be moving up a little bit here as you find support across this low range. And again, you can find support quite heavily here at 31.08. That's pretty clear. And it's actually also the 786 of this entire move as well. So we'll keep those things in kind of check and understand what they are. But when we jump up into the 4-hourly, we can see that we've got to progress down. Okay, so our 4-hour stock actually does need to move down to the oversold area if we want that significant bounce to the upside later. The 8-hour chart is also progressing quite nicely up, so we want to see this also reverse down. So this drop that we need to see coming down towards 28.8 and 29.8 should hopefully correct our 8-hour stochastic RSI. And then of course we have our daily stochastic almost into the oversold area, indicating that we're coming close to the bottom of this corrective move, and we should now start to move on up. And when I say corrective, I actually mean it's actually more of a trend to the downside. The correction is actually to the upside afterwards. Okay, so I still expect more downside to happen longer term, but for now we should be thinking there's a bounce coming. It's a significant bounce for XRP as well. So I want to come back down into this hourly chart here, and we remove the stochastic RSI. We know that we need to move up on our hourly. We probably need to continue to move down on our 4-hour, move down on our 8-hour, and we need to just finish off our daily into this oversold area, all of which I think will happen when the price moves down towards 28.8 and 29.8. So do expect some short-term volatility right now as this continuation of this sideways trade basically just happens over the weekend till the end of the 4th of July probably. On Tuesday, maybe we'll start to see a little bit more of that volatility really kick in. Once we are down into this low range, I'm going to expect a significant ABC or WXY structure upwards. It should be a 3-wave structure in my opinion. And then we continue with another 5-wave move. And this is because this is a 5-wave structural move coming down here. Okay, so what I'm expecting to happen is a zigzag pattern, okay, inside this Y wave, this macro Y wave. So all of this move to the downside and taking us somewhere between 28.8 and 29.8 with basically 5 waves. We then look for 3 waves up. Again, this could be a 535, it could be, you know, 335, it could be any kind of pattern here. We don't know what that looks like yet, but it should be 3 waves in total on a macro scale. Then of course we drop down into the final 5 waves where we actually have our lower end targets, which we, you know, until we complete this and we have our 3-wave move up here, we can't be 100% confident on where that's going. But, you know, it should be pretty significant decrease. You know, I'm targeting out 25 to 30 cent ultimately is a nice kind of sweet spot here. But when it comes to kind of short-term swing trading and things like that, on 28 0.8 to 29.8 seems to be the area that we might want to jump into XRP, ride it up until things are nice and overbought again, and completing their structures, and then we drop back down and we basically accumulate down here. At the end of this Y wave, that's where I expect the bear market bottom to be for XRP, and then basically from there we are then just grinding on our way back up again. That could take some time, etc., but it is exciting to kind of know that we're kind of getting very close to the bottom here for XRP, in my opinion. Now, do remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot offer you financial advice. All I can do is give you my thoughts and opinions on the data as I see it inside the charts. You should absolutely do your own research. You should come to your own conclusion and maybe even consult your own financial advisor. Essentially, this is educational purposes maybe, but basically just my thoughts, my opinions on what I think is actually happening inside here, inside the charts for XRP. So guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all of that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.